In this tutorial, we're going to get into Illustrator and basically show you some basics with the selection tool, rectangle tool, adding color, zoom, pan, duplicate, align, shape builder. So quite a bit actually. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is just come into a new document. Just go to File, New after you've opened up the program. Your version might look a little bit different. We're not going to get too worried about dimensions. If you do see this CMYK, we're going to change to RGB for now. And I'm in the print mode, and I just chose one of the defaults. So, but RGB, because we're probably going to put this on a website, and the rest of this, don't really worry about it. So the important thing is you get a blank canvas or a blank sheet that you're working on, and don't worry about anything else. So I'm going to come over here and grab the rectangle, because in order to do something in this program, you kind of need to do that. If you press the letter M, and you'll kind of see hotkeys show up in parentheses here. So if you ever want to do hotkeys, you can do that. So go to the rectangle tool, and then we're going to come down here where there's a fill and a stroke, and double click on the fill, and just choose any color you want, and then click OK. And what that lets us do is just lets us click and drag and kind of build some squares and everything. Okay, so if you come up here to the selection tool or press the letter V, you can come over here and move them around and position them where you want to go. And I'm just selecting on pressing delete now. Before I delete this last one, another thing that you can kind of play with is you can go to the corner and you can basically stretch them out, scale them around. If you go out to a corner, you can also rotate. And then there's also this other circle in, and what that does is that curves them. And sometimes that gets in the way of things, so you can turn that off if you want to. For now, I'm just going to keep it up, and hopefully it doesn't get too much in our way right now. So I'm going to have you create just a simple checkerboard. So I'm going to come up here and go to the rectangle and just click and drag, and if you hold down shift, that constrains it, so it's a perfect square. We could also just mouse click and we could type in the exact dimensions if we want to do that too, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So once I have one of these, I'm going to hold down the Alt key on my keyboard and click and drag to duplicate. And then now I'm going to go ahead and just click and drag, and this is a box selection, so with the selector tool, that black arrow tool, if you select and then go inside one of the colors and choose Alt again, so I'm holding down the Alt key, and if you click, hold, and drag, and then if you hold down shift, it'll kind of constrain it. So block select again, hold down Alt, hold down shift to constrain it so it goes straight. I'm also pressing the space bar to kind of pan around. If you hold down the Alt key, you can use your scroller wheel to zoom in if you're on a mouse, or there's also a zoom tool over here you could play with too. So I'm going to continue with this. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down the Alt key, click and drag, block select again, click, hold, and drag, and now I have a simple little checkerboard on there. So and then the next thing I want you to do is I'm going to have you just go ahead and choose all the other colors. You could just put in colors, or you could just grab another rectangle and then just click, hold, and drag to basically cover the entire area. Maybe change out the color. And then right now it's in the way of everything, so if you just go to the selection tool and right mouse click, you can go to arrange and send to back, and then that gets you your checkerboard. If I want to change the color, I can do that. If I want to change the color of these other ones, that would be a little bit more tedious, unfortunately. You'd have to go into each individual one, and there are some tools where you can actually select all of them, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so we've got a checkerboard. I'm going to go ahead and just select that whole thing. And if you go from a corner and hold down shift, that's our constraint key. That'll kind of let me shrink it down and just kind of position it, because I'm going to do some other things on here. So you got your checkerboard. Next thing I'm going to have you do is a bullseye. So if you come over here to the rectangle, if you click and hold on any of these, there's a little rectangle or triangle, and that means there's more tools under there. So I'm going to go to this ellipse tool now, and I'm going to go ahead and click and drag. If I want it to be a perfect circle, hold down, Shift, click, hold, and drag, and make a slightly smaller one. I'll change the color, and then I'll go ahead and I could also duplicate by holding down the Alt key. Or if I just want to continue to add circles, I could do that too. All right, and then I'm going to change this one. If I want the same color as this right here, I can click on it. There's a little eyedropper tool, so if you press I or just click on it. So while it's selected, then click on something else, and it'll change it to that color. So that gets me some circles that I can work with. Bullseye. Now I did do it in a certain order. I created the biggest one first, because if you don't do the biggest one first, it would cover everything else. So now I want to create a simple little bullseye, and to do that I could try and eyeball it as best as I can, or if you block select, so basically click, hold, and drag with your selection tool, click, hold, and drag, and then once you've done that, sometimes it'll show up here. Looks like it's over here this time, but you're looking for this align. And if you don't see that anywhere, you could also go up to Window, and you could also go into Align that way. And then it'll pop up in a little thing. But if it shows up somewhere else, then just use that. So I just need to choose the right combination. And this tool only works if you have 2 or more items selected. So if you only have one thing selected, it's not going to do anything. So that's why I had to click, hold, and drag to select all of them, and then you just got to choose the right combination to get your bullseye there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to have you do is create some Olympic rings. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and just once again start off with a circle, hold down Shift, and then do another circle slightly smaller, and just kind of see how it's looking. And then to get it perfect, then go ahead and select them both, and then align them correctly. So once I've done that, I want to knock out the center part. And to do that, probably our easiest tool to do that is up over here. There is a tool called the Shape Builder, or Shift M is the hotkey for that. And the way that this tool works is it lets you combine or subtract. So to subtract, if I go over the top of it, so I've already selected it, hold down the Alt key and then mouse click. And that gets me to basically knock out that center part. So do that one more time. So select, align it. Once I've aligned it, so I got to select both of them first and align it, and then go to the Shape Builder and then hold down the Alt key so you see a little negative, and then it'll knock that out. So now I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate that, and then duplicate those, and then duplicate that one. And I'm holding down Alt to duplicate and then Shift to kind of constrain it in the way that I want it to be. So, and then you can come in here and just add whatever colors you want. I mean, if you really want to get them perfect, go look at a graphic on the internet and you can get the right colors for the right rings. But I'm just kind of picking and choosing whatever colors I feel like choosing. So, but hopefully that helps you out and do some simple things in Illustrator.